Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about one thing and one thing only on the American First pregame show from last night, which is the Donald Trump coin scam. Donald Trump legitimately, basically padding his pockets and making sure that he and his family are taken care of far before the American people. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to jump straight in. This should be a short show or a long show, but we're not going to talk about 3 points tonight. This is the only point we're going to talk about. And then we're running a little bit late tonight. What time is it? 10:53. Holy smokes. We are running late. Let's just jump straight into this. That's it, man. This is a huge topic. I wish I could show my Instagram video that I did. It was a video on Nick talking about the coin dump, but like months ago. Let's just jump straight into this one. All right. Here we go.
And Tucker is the attack dog. Tucker is the bulldog for JD Vance and Palantir Incorporated over there. So anyway, it's just unbelievable. But we're going to move on. We're going to get into our featured story for tonight, which is all about the Trump crypto scam.
Here we go.
This has just got to be, once again,
we're going to watch this for a little while.
It's just indefensible.
Maybe 15 minutes,
featured
maybe
story
20.
Tonight is about the Trump administration. Today, President Trump launched, or actually released, some of his financial disclosures from 2025. Actually, they came out yesterday. And inside of his financial disclosures, we now have new details about his income from cryptocurrency.
Put that on 1.25.
And we all knew that he made a lot of money off of his shitcoin right around the time of the presidential transition after the 2024 election. But now we know just how much money he made exactly. And what the financial disclosures show is that Trump personally made $2 billion in profits last year, $2 billion in income. So before 2025, I think
$2 billion,
something like $3 to $6 billion. He made $2 billion in 2025 alone. So at the minimum, he increased his net worth by 30% in 1 year. At the most, he doubled his net worth in just a year, the year that he came back to the presidency. Out of that $2 billion, about $1 billion of that is fairly conventional sources of income. Mm-hmm. Real estate, stocks, normal investments, but $1.1 billion alone. So the majority of his income came from crypto-related ventures. And you could break that down into two specific sources of income. He made more than $600 million on the Trump coin, and he made $530 million off of a crypto company called World Liberty Financial. And this is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, a large chunk of the $2 billion haul President Trump took in last year came as hundreds of thousands of his fans and other investors bet on a speculative cryptocurrency called Trump coin. But while Mr. Trump amassed $636 million from the cryptocurrency, many of his followers who heeded this call to purchase the coin came out as losers. The president's 927-page financial disclosure showed how Mr. Trump and his family reaped huge financial rewards in 2025 through his money-losing Trump media venture and a separate cryptocurrency firm called World Liberty Financial, even as routine investors suffered vast losses. He also amassed hundreds of millions of dollars through deals that involve foreign governments or corporations with agenda items pending before his own administration. As of the middle of last year, according to Chainalysis, a crypto analytics firm, 58 investors in the Trump coin had made profits in excess of $10 million, totaling an estimated $1.1 billion alone, most of them early traders who got out before the coin crashed in value. At the same time, some 764,000 crypto wallets, most with small holdings, lost money on Trump coin. So 58 people made $1 billion in total. Almost 800,000 people lost money. Every time Trump coin was traded, the president and his partners collected transaction fees, which, along with other revenues from the coin, totaled hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
Mr. Trump's annual report shows that he earned an additional $800 million from World Liberty, including a large share when the government of the UAE secretly purchased a stake in the company, just as Mr. Trump was returning to the White House. Nice.
So Donald Trump might be the most corrupt president ever. And Nick is going to get into this later in the episode, but the reason why he had to do it is because he is the most corrupt president, because in his first term, he was also like the most heavily scrutinized president or scrutinized. He was like the most severely persecuted president of his entire out of more than anybody ever. Nick's gonna get into this, what he's talking about, like as far as like prior to Donald Trump in 2016, as far as personal stock investments, there was no presidents that ever did anything like that. When he was 20 and president in 2016, he had 50. When he was president now in 2024, 3,000. This guy has accumulated $2 billion worth of worth of money. Think about that for a second. Like we really are in some crazy times where I think Donald Trump was trying to save his family, but ended up becoming the most corrupt president. Yeah, even as much as like Warren G. Hardin, like he's the most he basically used the presidency to make himself rich. Crazy. Let's keep going.
First, you have the Trump coin scam, which is just, I don't know how he got away with that. How is that even possible?
Yep.
The president.
I wish I could show my Instagram video on that. I wish.
Rug pulled his fans and supporters. Have you ever heard of such a thing? He created a digital asset, completely unregulated, this Trump meme coin, and told everybody to buy it. He said it's going to be the basis of the financial system, and this is an investment, all this kind of stuff. Everybody bought it. And then people that he told about it in advance sold all their coins to his fans who were buying in, and they rug pulled it.
Rug pulled them.
Trump and his cronies used his voters and supporters as exit liquidity after he won the presidential election.
He fucked over his voters. Said, buy this Trump coin, and then they pulled the rug by like pulling all their investments in it. How crazy is that? Truly.
To the tune of $600 million. The president of the United States scammed his supporters out of $600 million. Not only off of the rug pull itself, but also making money off of every single transaction. The second aspect of it is this World Liberty Financial. This is a cryptocurrency firm, and their main product is a stable coin. So they created a coin that's pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar. It's not a speculative investment. It's meant to serve as a medium of exchange. World Liberty Financial was founded by Steve Witkoff's children. So Steve Witkoff is the president's special envoy. So when we talk to Russia about the war in Ukraine, that's Steve Witkoff. He is the one going to Russia to meet with Putin and Sergei Lavrov. He is the one going to Turkey and Riyadh, meeting with our Russian counterparts. When we negotiate with Iran, directly, indirectly, it's Steve Witkoff every time, going to Switzerland, Italy, Turkey, Oman, Iran, Pakistan. He's the one going and meeting with the Qataris, meeting with the Pakistanis, meeting with the Iranians, meeting with the Saudis, with the Emiratis. He's the one meeting with all the Israelis, the Syrians, Lebanese, meeting with all these people. Steve Witkoff's top negotiator, that guy's children, founded a stablecoin company, which Trump owns a significant chunk of. As a matter of fact, Trump makes 75% of the royalties. 75% of the royalties from World Liberty go to Trump personally. And not only that, the United Arab Emirates purchased $2 billion worth of coins from World Liberty, and then they purchased a 49% stake in the company. And that equity for Trump is worth something like $57 million. Not only that, World Liberty is in talks with Pakistan to talk about cross-border payments. So the president has raked in $1 billion, well over $1 billion, one, from scamming his voters, directly scamming them, selling them something that is worthless.
$1 billion from the coin drop. $1 billion. Let me see here. I want to play this video here. Nice thing about the way I do this shit old school is I don't have to worry about videos yet. I have the technology to do it, but I'm not going to do it quite yet because I don't want to get penalized as far as playing Nick and his videos. But like, let's listen to this real quick here. This is Trump coin dump. Where the fuck? Where is that here? Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is going way back to. We'll see here. Let's play it here.
To support Trump. I got to get in on this. I know that it's not exciting, and they lied to
This was in December.
And many of them lied to you. They took money out of the table, and they lied to you, and they pretended like this administration was going to be great. And honestly, the whole thing is, when I say a scam, I mean they're looting the government.
Yep.
These cabinet officials, they are fucking corrupt. They're looting the government. What did Trump do when he won? He put out a shit coin and told everybody to buy it on social media. And
this is Nick in December of 2025 saying this here. Listen.
It's now more than 50% of his net worth. You fucking stupid idiot. Trump got elected, put out a shit coin, all of his followers bought it, and then he sold and made literally billions of dollars. And you don't think that all of his cronies did exactly the same thing? You don't think that all of the insiders, many of them Jewish, and Mar-a-Lago, you don't think they profited from that as well? Of course they did. Talk about an omen. Talk about a red flag. Gee, I wonder if Trump is going to scam us again. I wonder if Trump is going to screw us again. And then he puts out a shit coin, everybody buys it, and he literally rug pulls you and leaves you holding the bag. Like any other celebrity, like any other crypto scammer. And you thought you were going to get your mass deportations? This whole thing needs to be burned to the ground. The support.
That's it. Burned to the ground. The Trump coin, dude. Literally like a coin with his face on it. It's so crazy, dude. It's unbelievable. Let's get back to our video here. But I mean, it's like, dude, Nick has been talking about this shit for, I don't know, over almost 6, 7, 8 months now. Like, dude, Donald Trump is has been probably the most corrupt because he had to be. And he's going to talk about this in the video. I don't want to jump into it too much. He's going to talk about why that is. Let's keep going.
Selling them something that is worthless and also profiting off of the transaction fees from selling them something that is worthless. And then the other $700-800 million comes from World Liberty, a firm owned by the children of his top negotiator that does business with Pakistan and the UAE, which he makes royalties off of, and he makes profits from the sale of equity to foreign countries. Have you ever heard of such a thing? And this is, by the way, orders of magnitude more than any other former president. How much money do you think Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama make in speaking fees? How much do they make when they get a seat on a board of a Fortune 500 company? How much did Hunter Biden make when he had his consulting business? He was maybe making millions of dollars. We're talking 7 figures. Now, you might think millions of dollars, that sounds like a lot of money. You might think, oh, $1 million a month, that's a lot of money. $10 million in a year, $10 million, that's a lot of money. Trump made $1 billion. He made 1,000 millions in 1 year, scamming his, more than that, by the way, about 1.5 billion, scamming his voters and selling stuff to the UAE, Pakistan, foreign countries, which of course then he was regulating. Not only is he scamming his voters and selling out to foreign countries, but obviously there's a major conflict of interest, which is that his administration will regulate the crypto industry. So he's making money off of an under-regulated industry that his administration is in charge of. And also the customers for these companies are countries that he's doing deals with as the sitting president. So months before he gives the UAE access to American chips for their data centers in a huge deal, the UAE buys $2 billion worth of coins from a company he gets 75% of the royalties from, and they buy 49% equity in that very same company.
Right.
And this is an analogy for how the whole Trump movement works, is it not? Which is to say that the entire thing is a scam. It's a scam, and not only is it that, but it's a scam that his own supporters can't get enough of. I would say That is actually the characteristic attribute of Trumpism. Because you will find that every other politician, every other leader, there's sort of a line that they can't cross. There's some things they can't get away with. Like, for example, when Obama went to Flint, Michigan and drank the water, people were outraged. Or when Joe Biden was unable to stop the conflict in Gaza, lost a lot of support. There's some things that politicians, even popular ones, even charismatic ones, can't get away with. And maybe the defining characteristic of Trumpism is this unshakable cult mentality that no matter what he does, no matter how much he contradicts himself, no matter how much he breaks his promises, betrays the fundamental principles of this entire political movement, even if he is literally rug pulling you in a shitcoin scam, it seems to have no impact on the level of support coming from his base of voters.
Right.
No matter how much he does to betray them, they will continue to ask for more. They'll continue to vote for more of that. They'll say that he did a good job.
Right.
He scams his voters out of $600 million. They say, well, that's because he's smart. He made billions of dollars. That's because he's a good businessman. He didn't release the Epstein files. Well, that's because the Democrats made it up. He brought us to war in Iran. Well, that's because the real forever war was Iran's war against Israel and the United States.
And the reason why this is because his base voters are premillennial dispensationalists for the most part. They are the ones who think that the end of the world is going to happen because of everything that's going to happen as far as Israel and as far as like sending red heifers and as far as literally they think if you kill a bunch of red heifer cows or if you basically were somewhere in Israel where like if you replace a Muslim mosque and you replace it with a new Jewish temple, like the third temple, I guess it is. Like it's like they think that like all of a sudden that Jesus is going to come back, and this is their main thing, and this is the tragedy of boomers, man. This is what's making them the saddest generation to ever lived. This is what's making my heart break about the boomers that I love, is that they're so fucking pathetic. They're the most pathetic fucking people to ever live because they're the most privileged, and they support this idea that if Israel is first, that the rest of us are going to get paid off somehow, and they're the only ones who have been paid off long before we made Israel first. Like, we're all struggling. It's so fucking crazy. Let's keep going.
This is how it goes all the time. And if you're thinking to yourself, gee, how could those people be such idiots? How could you support Trump after he told you to buy a meme coin and then rug pulled it and made money from the transaction fees? How could you continue to support him in spite of that? Well, consider the fact that you and probably every conservative person you know are going to go and vote Republican in the midterms.
Yep.
You and every conservative or Trump supporter that you know is going to go out and vote in 2028.
Not the Groypers, not myself. I will not be voting Republican in the 2026 midterms. Not at all. Because we need to have this sort of thing investigated. This is the most corrupt presidency in the history of the world. The history of the world. And I hate to say that. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016 when it was like unpopular. I voted for him in 2020. In 2024, I did not, because I was watching Nick. I was watching another show here in Pittsburgh called the Burn Pit Podcast. That's no longer existing. One of the hosts died, and the other guy is just, he's trying to do his thing. But it's like, dude, nah, man. Like, this is a whole complete waste of fucking time. If you think you're gonna fucking vote for, Republicans, let's keep going.
Think about that. So if you think that's egregious, if you think that's unexcusable and indefensible, and you may wonder, how do people tolerate that? How could people be such suckers? Consider that you're a sucker too. You're going to be a part of it as well. As sure as people continue to support Trump after he steals hundreds of millions of dollars, he's blatantly corrupt, Conflict of interest is just glaring and blatant. It's just in your face. You're still going to go out in 26. You're still going to go out in 28 because you're going to be saying, well, it's better than the Democrats. Well, we're better off with Trump. Well, it's a lesser of two evils. And you wonder why it is the way that it is. It's because we've trained the Republicans in general, and Trump in particular, to know that they can get away with anything. This is a conditioned response. They know that they can do anything in terms of their personal conduct, in terms of what they do politically in Congress. They can literally get away with anything. And so, why wouldn't they do this? And by the way, this is how they got Trump. It's very clear what is happening here, which is you have to consider the particular predicament that Trump was in a year ago. This sort of explains everything. In 2024, Trump is facing charges in 4 different cases, 2 federal cases, a case in New York State, and a case in Fulton County, Georgia.
Yep.
You've got federal charges relating to January 6th, federal charges relating to mishandling of classified documents.
This is where Nick is going to go into explaining why we know what's going on, why Donald Trump has seemed to completely betray the American people, where his America First movement turned into the Trump family first movement. And this is a big deal. And this is a big deal for the rest of us because Donald Trump basically put his own personal agenda and his own family in front of all of us. So here we go.
Charges in New York State over these business documents, and he got charges in Fulton County over election interference. He's facing potentially over 100 years in prison. And not only that, but this is hundreds of millions of dollars in legal fees as well, to pay teams of lawyers, the best lawyers in the country, to give him the best defense in all these cases. And what he's looking at in 2024 is either you become the president and all the legal problems go away. You become the president and you're able to get rid of your legal problems. You're able to enrich yourself so you could pay off all of these legal fees. You could pay off all of these judgments against you. You'll be able to set yourself and your family up for life so they never have to worry about being persecuted or getting a job or anything like that. That's behind door number 1. And door number 2 is you go to jail and you spend the rest of your life in prison. You are an historical disgrace. And more likely than not, your organization goes bankrupt. You will be bankrupted by judgments against you in criminal court, civil court, and in legal fees. So those are Trump's 2 options. Either you spend the final 10, 15, 20 years of your life as the president in retirement, your family is set for life, you've created a dynasty, you have this come from behind victory, you're able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, no legal troubles, or you spend the rest of your life in jail. You're bankrupt, your family's bankrupt, you go down in history as the ultimate failure.
Which is what he was going to do.
And this explains everything. This is why Trump fundamentally betrayed all of his voters on the financial front.
So this explains everything. Listen to this, please.
Political front. I think it's very obvious that he realized he needed to do absolutely everything that was required to win. And what that meant was taking hundreds of millions of dollars from Miriam Adelson, from Tim Mellon, from Elon Musk, from Andreessen Horowitz, from Larry Ellison, from all these different billionaire oligarchs. And then this is why he needed to set up these scams. I'm sure that people like Howard Lutnick and Steve Witkoff came to him as his fixers, and they said, listen, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're being bankrupted by legal fees. Sure, you don't have legal problems now when you're in office, but these legal problems are going to start up again for you and your family. You need to set yourself up for life. You need to make $1 billion. How are you going to do it? Here's how you're going to do it. There's this industry. It's unregulated. It's meme coins. We're going to set it up. We'll take care of the legal side. We'll take care of the tech. All you got to do is post this on Truth Social. You'll make $500 million at least. You never have to worry again in your life. Don't worry about it. We'll handle everything. And yeah, it's shady. And yeah, it should be illegal. But this is how it is. And this is how you're going to protect yourself. Trump doesn't know anything about crypto. He doesn't know anything about coins. He doesn't know anything about tech. I'm sure this was brought to him by his Jewish fixers, Steve Witkoff and Howard Lutnick, who are deeply involved in this. And by the way, crypto is all about arbitrage. It's all about these different media of exchange. It is severely underregulated at this point, I would assume. Yep. And so I'm sure the Jewish fixers came to him, put this on the table and said, do the smart thing. You're going to need this money. You've got problems. Money solves problems. All you got to do is write out this script, do what we tell you to do. We'll set it up, and you'll set yourself up and your children and your organization and your family for life.
So basically, the reason why Trump is the way he is It's not that he loves Jews. It's not that he is trying to fuck over the American people, which he is doing, and he seems to love Jews, right? It's that the Jews came to him and was like, "You got problems. We can get you. We have solutions. We can make sure that your family is going to be taken care of. We're gonna put $1 billion in your pocket. Just make sure you give us what we want." And that's why Benjamin Netanyahu and the Likud party has been literally blowing up whoever the fuck they want. Think about that. That's a fucking crazy, dude. That's where we're at. It's like our politics are just a game of chess. It's not about people who care about us. It's just people who care about themselves, man. Let's keep going.
And this is about protecting him, not just as an ordinary politician who's going to retire and just kind of go and play golf. This is about protecting him as a unique president who was a billionaire and has these extraordinary political problems that other presidents don't have.
Right.
Other presidents did not have their private residence raided. Other presidents did not get charged by the DOJ and in all these other jurisdictions. Other presidents did not have these problems. And so this is insulation for his unique problems. And it just goes to show, by the way, he is always looking out for number one.
Number one.
He's not going down with the shit because
and let me remind you, you should look out for number one. You have to look out for yourself. That's my personal approach to things. You have to look out for number one. Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, was like, yo, fuck the rest of these motherfuckers. I'm going to look out for me. Like, if you're running for political office and that's your mentality, that's probably a bad idea. But if you're like somebody else, like me, who just works for a random company and wants to take care of himself and figure out what's in the best interest while also providing good quality work for another company, for the company you work for, fine, I get it.
This is the big picture, because you might look at that situation and you might not begrudge Trump for doing this. It makes sense. If you're in his position, it's an insurance policy. It insulates him from risk in the future. Okay, makes sense. Let's think about it another way, though. Another way to consider it is that if you are a revolutionary and you try to take over the country and you fail, you die. And what that implies then is you better succeed. If you are a revolutionary, if you are a dissident, if you are leading a coup d'etat, you either win or you die. So it's in your interest as the captain of the ship that you win. It's in your best interest. And as a leader of men, that's a very important thing, because everybody else is giving their lives too. If the coup fails, they all die too. They all get lined up and beheaded or executed. Their families get executed probably. Their families get spied on or whatever. And I think about it similarly with Trump. There's really two ways to look at this dilemma. If you're Trump and you're raising a challenge against the system, if you win, then you have this obligation to actually change the character of the regime. If you're successful, you don't have to worry. If Trump wins the election and then he's able to actually deliver the promises, if he's actually able to deliver the change that he promised to the voters, then he's got nothing to worry about. You know how he's going to survive? If he wins.
Mm-hmm.
If he loses, that's why you have problems, just like in the first term. In the first term, Trump got elected, and Trump was sloppy and lazy and careless and incompetent and all these things. He winds up losing the election. He raises this challenge about the legitimacy of the vote and then causes all these problems for himself. He also caused problems for his people. His people went to jail. He got charged. Now that he's in office the second time, the first thing that he does is take care of his end. The first thing that he does is set up a golden parachute for himself.
Yep.
If it goes down the same way
Golden
he did last
parachute.
time, I'll be good. That was literally the first thing he did before he did anything else. Before he even
Anything
took
else.
office, he took care of number one.
Yes. He took care of number one. And I'm not gonna like tell you as young men, don't take care of number one. That's exactly what you need to do. I know as narcissistic as that sounds, but Trump's not a good narcissist. He's not a Machiavellian, dude. He's a total pussy. But like you gotta take care of yourself. At the end of the day, if you don't, nobody else will. And Trump looked out for his family. He did. So here we go.
And okay, I won the election. I'm headed into my second term. Well, I'm safe for now. But in order to make sure that it doesn't go down the same way as the first term, I got to set myself up using my newfound power with an insurance policy. That way, no matter what happens, whether I succeed, whether I fail, I'm going to be okay. The Trump family's going to be okay. And thus began the second term. Now, is Trump acting like his life depends on it? No. Trump is not governing as the president like his life depends on it, as if failure would mean death for him. He isn't. He's not serious about these indictments. He's not serious about the SAVE Act. He's not serious about mass deportations. He's not serious about any of it. Because on some level, he doesn't care. And he doesn't care because he knows that no matter what, he's going to be okay. We won't. If Trump doesn't do mass deportations, we're screwed. If he doesn't do the SAVE Act, we're screwed. If we lose the House in 26 and we can't get anything done in 27 and 28, we're screwed. If a Democrat gets in office in 28, that's a big problem for us.
Yeah.
That's a problem for us. That's our problem. We don't have $1 billion. Our family doesn't have $1 billion. We don't get to pardon ourselves preemptively and our entire family, but Trump does.
Trump's gonna leave us. Trump's gonna basically tell us to go fuck ourselves. Put it that way. He's gonna be like, yeah, I gotta go. See you guys later, and he'll never be heard of. Even if he gets indicted, even if he gets impeached, he's just gonna say goodbye, and he's gonna be completely done. Unreal, man. Let's go.
First thing he did is line up the preemptive pardons, get the $1+ billion cushion, and now we can go on about the business of the presidency. Charlie Kirk is dead. He's dead and gone, and his family will never recover. That guy was not protected. Trump will be okay. And that is really what this movement, that characterizes this movement, which is that it's always just been about him from the very beginning. The whole thing was a scam. The whole thing was exactly like this. It was about everybody giving up their lives, everybody giving up their time, their energy, their money, putting their hopes and dreams on this movement for the sake of Trump's vanity, his legacy, his ego. And all over again in the second term, same thing. Well, it'll be different this time. He's learned his lesson. He's going to be our vengeance. He's going to do all these things. Same story. It was all just about him getting this get out of jail free card. Yep. It wasn't about actually fulfilling the promises of the first term. It was about securing his get out of jail free card. He started something that he didn't finish. He had to get back in office and make sure that him and his people were taken care of.
Oh.
And the Trump coin scam is just a microcosm of that, which is we're paying for his ticket out. So I don't know how anybody defends this administration. And by the way, these are the kinds of things that I really hope the Democrats investigate in 27.
And they will. I think the entire Democratic Party is so fed up. And a lot of us on the right are like so tired of this shit. Like, it's like, we hope that they actually bring this out into light. I mean, if the Democrat Party does not, let's think about this for a second. Okay. They have a softball handed to them, just like the Republicans did in 2024. They had a softball handed to them. They never took advantage of it. They ended up like wasting their money on the foreign nation on the other side of the world. But if the Democrats don't take advantage of this, we'll know that Democrats are in it. They're in on it like everyone else. They'll be in on it like everybody else. Think about that. Think about that. All right. Here we go.
People say, why do you want the Democrats to win the midterms? It's because of stuff like this. How can you blame this on anyone other than Trump? It's just like yesterday. Birthright citizenship failed because of 2 Trump-appointed judges. Who can you blame for that? Yep. I think about guys like Steven Crowder, who I like, but Steven Crowder is one of these apologists. He is one of these people that defends so much of what the Republican Party does. Or at least we'll say that it's a glass half full. There's always this optimistic, sympathetic reading of everything they do. And I think about a guy like Steven Crowder. If we're not doing mass deportations, there's always some excuse. There's always some excuse for why, what they're doing is enough, or if they're not doing enough, it's because of the Democrats. If Trump isn't doing this, it's because of the bad advisors. Yesterday, birthright citizenship was struck down by 2 judges that Trump nominated. So their names would have never even been put before the Senate for confirmation if Trump didn't pick them out of the hat. You can't blame that on Mitch McConnell. You can't blame that on the Republicans. You can't blame it on the Democrats. Those 2 judges were confirmed by all Republicans. And those names were picked by Trump, and they are why birthright citizenship is still the law today. Who do you blame? Who else can you blame? And then here it is again. Trump, with his cronies, are stealing billions of dollars. These are ill-gotten gains, billions of dollars from foreign governments and stolen from his own supporters. And once again, what's the excuse? Who do you blame for that?
Yep.
Can you blame the Democrats? Can you even say the corruption is worse? I think this corruption is actually worse than it is with the Democrats. Obama never profited $1 billion. Sure, there's cronyism with Obama. Absolutely.
Obama never profited $1 billion while in office, ever. Nor did the Clintons, nor did the Bushes. They did so after they got out of office by writing books and giving world tours and all this shit like that. The Clinton administration, as much as we were making fun of them in the 2016 cycle, they never made money. And even Hillary Clinton was like, yo, we left the office broke. And they were mad about it. And they probably should have been. I know why Hillary Clinton was so mad about her husband leaving office broke. Think about this.
But $1 billion, Trump made more than $1 billion. Obama never came close to that. Neither did Clinton, neither did the Bushes. I don't think any of them put together come close to $1 billion plus dollars.
Right.
So who do you blame for that? And this is why I say in 26, the Democrats need to get in, because this administration is the problem. You understand, it's not like, hey, this administration is not perfect, but it's better than the alternative. No, this administration is creating problems.
Yep.
This administration brought us to war in Iran. They are dangerous. They are a problem. This administration is effectively giving amnesty to these millions of illegals that are here by saying they won't deport them. That's a problem. The administration's engaged in corruption. There just needs to be justice. And I would add, if this is going on, we actually need to get to the bottom of it, because it's going to hurt us in 2028. Even if you care about Republicans getting elected, Trump is doing the most to make sure that never happens again.
Yep.
War in Iran makes it so much less likely that people in his administration can even win their primary.
Yeah.
The embezzlement that goes on in the cabinet, same thing.
Trump is basically destroying the Republican Party, which is why we have to come in and we have to rebuild it. And then we have to make sure that the Democrats win in 2026. And the rest of these fucking wig nats are like, nah, man, they got to be done. We have to make sure that these guys are done, truly. And this is, if you're going to be a part of Nick Fuentes' followers, the Groypers, so on and so forth, you're going to have a higher IQ. I'm tired right now. We're going to finish this up right now. Here we go.
Huge stain on the Trump movement. The Epstein files, the funding of a primary opponent against Thomas Massie, all these things are hurting Republicans. You need the Democrats in the House to simply put a stop to it. Get some accountability, get some transparency, hold the people involved to account. And then in 2028, maybe you can get a fresh start. Maybe you get a reset. Maybe you can distance yourself from these mistakes that have already been made in the past and are not going away.
Right.
We just need to get around them by bringing in new people. So that's a situation with Trump. I do want to move on. I want to talk a little bit about this Citizen Vigilante movie. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. I just watched that movie. It's cool, man. He makes fun of it. He says it sucks. I kind of like it, dude. You have to understand, I grew up in the 80s, childhood and 90s, teenage years. Movies like that were awesome. And Nick is going to talk about how it sucks talk about its significance. I think it's pretty good, man. I think you should actually watch it and just who gives a shit? It's cheesy, but it's Nick's he's a Gen Zer. They're used to everything looking so fucking awesome all the time. And you have to kind of appreciate when it looks cheesy. It's like The Expendables with Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. Who else? Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Dude, I grew up with these movies. They're so cheesy. This movie was right there. It's so fucking cheesy that it's fucking awesome, dude. It's really good. So that's pretty much it for tonight, man. I appreciate you guys watching. For all 5 of you that are watching right now, 0 of you watching right now. But anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and see this movie I'm watching here on the back. It's Firefox. It's the Serenity movie, dude. It's so good. Such a great movie. I love old cheesy movies, man. I just do. I think they're all fucking dope. I really do. And but anyway, that's where we're at. I'm gonna close this out. Say thank you. I appreciate you guys, and that's all we got. So let's just like keep this in mind, man. Holy shit, like Donald Trump really is a corrupt president. He really is. I hate to say that. I really do. But us gripers need to, even the old ones like me, we need to keep that in mind. So, all right, man. Appreciate you guys. About to head out. Peace.